You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for coming back, I guess.
Yeah, not sure why you had me back considering that was your lowest performing video. But that speaks more on you than me because you asked to have me back.
Yeah. I guess we're giving you every tip.
Thanks.
So, for today, we're going to focus on AI.
Okay.
Talk about it. Mostly giving kind of a open discussion. I'm going to try to take probably like more devil's advocate side of it. I don't disagree with it completely.
No, I don't.
So there's not like a complete disagreement here. I think other topics we could find like.
Yeah. Why don't you pull up some misconceptions or rather, I don't know, some fallbacks of AI?
Yeah. Probably using AI.
Heck yeah, got ChatGPT right up here on the phone.
Yeah. I think to kind of give an overview about AI and ChatGPT, it is essentially a program based on machine learning, and so what it does is takes billions of words and tons of documents essentially, runs it through a training program, learning patterns of speech and what is most likely to come next in the word, what words kind of go with each other based on like kind of what you're asking. There's even human feedback like in ChatGPT where it asks you like, is this a good or bad response? It can then filter that into its programming.
So it's learning as it's working.
So, yeah, it's also learning as you're asking questions and kind of talking to it. Mm-hmm. So not only is it that first programming, it's kind of like a continuous learning cycle. But it is not artificial intelligence in the sense of like, it can think for itself. It's just learning to predict better and better what should come next. So it's kind of not, misconception, but still incredible technology.
Sure. Is it more now fed through our ask or like requests and responses rather than like it's learning from, I have no idea where the information came from or how it fed itself, but
my understanding is that like the improvements are coming from like, I think it's when like open AI, open source? I can't remember what the name of the company is.
You can say off the, what is it called? If you don't know the right answer, you can, what is it called when you say something off the book or off the record? Off the record.
It's from whatever company made chat. My understanding is that it's kind of every model was fed, like the first model was fed a huge chunk of data. And then they've kind of refined it over time to try to help like areas it struggled in by giving it more like documents, kind of giving more of like a human feedback. So like their programmers might be going in and like
more stress testing.
Yeah. And so like every advancement that has gone on is just like an evolution of that stress testing, along with the continuous feedback it's getting.
Okay.
So it's just constantly building on itself. Now, I'm sure there's probably something that could go into much greater detail on like how that process goes. Sure. But like, I think that gives like experts. I think that gives a ground level like what's kind of happening.
Okay.
So with that, it is something that's very interesting.
Yes. An agreement there.
I would say though I'll go the first negative of it. I think it is kind of a hindrance for learning in schools.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of killing creativity and I think kind of ability to like have a work ethic because it's so easy to fall onto.
Yeah.
It's not like...
It's a bit displacing learn how to learn. That process of failing, trying again.
Yeah, there's not
solution. Like... It's taking all that phase and wrapping it up into one AI
it's doing its own learning process essentially. It's like like instead of the person doing a learning process, it's now let me just ask chat or whichever one you want to,
right?
Instead of actually like trying and failing and like continuing.
Yes.
I think it is interesting. One article I did read, it was like the test scores like it used to be out of the classroom or lower than like in the classroom. So like when you were working with the teacher, you would have like better performance.
Like in person learning.
Yeah, like in person. So like your homework, doing your homework outside of class versus doing it like in class activity.
Sure, but you also have your instructor to be like,
well, exactly.
Hey,
but now it's flipped completely to where outside the classroom, right. You do like hands down. Every student does.
Well, sure. Chat's not trying to walk you through how to get to the solution. No. It's just giving you.
But I think that is like an example. I mean, I think that gives like kind of a context of like there's no longer a learning process of like.
Right. Which in my mind, also takes us right to the second negative or con of AI, is it's now automating the simple jobs and the labor that went into just. Like a time or whatever the word is, like a quick task. Yeah. So it's now you have people, possibly, or in the future you may have folks that haven't learned how to learn, and now you're getting rid of a lot of jobs that automate the processes where it's like maybe there's not as much problem solving in them, but they still needed a manual person to check and put data and so forth. So now you have these two coming together, and it seems like they create a whole problem with themselves.
Yeah, it's like a domino effect essentially, because I mean once you're cutting out like that middle, or not that middle, the entry level, like, come do things, how do you ever get to a middleman, or like a, one step up? Right. Like, you're never going to learn the essential, like, kind of ground skills that everyone else has.
And those ground skills, too, those are now a lot done by AI. Yeah. So it's hard to even get to that point of, like, okay, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm going to use this first job as my learning. But it's like, that first job is slowly diminishing through AI.
Yeah, the entry job is just kind of like a disappearing.
It's getting joined with other jobs that require some kind of expertise or
knowledge. Yeah, it requires expertise that most people don't have when they're looking for a first job.
Sure.
Like, I mean, it's just like...
And that's how it goes.
Matter of fact, it's no longer like... I think it's becoming less and less of like you can come out of school and just be like... Yeah. If you don't land like an internship or... Some sort of like... foot in.
Sure.
It seems very challenging now to like find something that you could get like your first experience in.
I guess so. Transition to a pro of AI. Yeah. It's like if you have the personality and you have the skill and the grades to make that first job and you land it, it's like now AI though shows up for you where it's if you're totally out of your wheelhouse, it can at least get you in the direction that could, like maybe it's not going to give you exactly, but it's going to give you some knowledge and thought where like if you can combine your first.
It can very much be like now a tutor for your like first job. Like,
right, which we could use, especially with all the remote work and hybrid work. Now it's like you don't have someone to just lean over and ask them at your desk. And if you do, I mean, that's also uncomfortable at your first job. You don't want to continuously be going to your mate across asking questions. It's like it at least gets you in the movement.
It gives you at least some idea. I mean, it's not going to solve all of your questions.
No, you're still going to be stumped and have to work through it, but at least you're not just sitting there staring like just I have zero idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think that way it does help quite a bit. Of like you don't have to ask every single question. But I think that's also can be like a con though, because it's not building like the networking aspect of like, or like kind of the camaraderie of like an office like. All right, I'm working together, and you're not building as much of like a team relationship.
That's fair. I think we could all experience that, and I mean, at least I've,
I think that could be said about a lot of other technologies, though, of like being remote, hybrid.
Right, Zoom. It's hard to exactly narrow it down to one source.
I don't think it's like. I'll tell you that was probably more of COVID. I think this is. I mean.
It just happened to be
it's just kind of
great time in.
I think there's a lot of factors that could go into that.
That's fair. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I'm mostly like the pros of it are just kind of hard to like.
The cons. We all use it, so we know there's pros to it.
Yeah, I mean like.
I'm using it in my regular life. I'm using it in my work life. I'm using it in my. Even to write a speech, like.
Well, the other day it was like we were trying to figure out a movie, and it like you're trying to search a movie but knowing like, a couple things about it. But then you ask chat, and you're just like, well, who's in, like, what's this movie title? And give it, like, the time frame of, like, when it came out, and it was, like, it was, like, dead on. It was, like...
Right.
And it was, like, all right, that's not, like, a major part of life, but that's kind of crazy that, like...
I think that's a good example to show how it can get you out of that stump when you're just, like, racking your brain, and it's, like, there's no way you're going to draw up that movie title or...
whatever
it is in your work life or personal life. It's
Mhm.
like it's gonna get you right there, and that's the goal of it, and it does that well.
Yeah. I would say another major con of it is going to be figuring out how to like power all the data centers you need.
Like electricity, energy.
Well, because
powering, or
it takes like a ton of water to power all of them.
I think that's the third
like-
con of AI is.
I mean, that's
this
a con, but it's
environmental
like
aspect around it.
it's kind of the trade-off. I mean, majorly. I mean, that's what it is. It's like, yes, you're going to use a lot of water and you're going to drain a lot of power from like nearby.
Mhm.
I would imagine. I know the water for sure. The power I can't exactly.
I've heard water energy.
That's kind of what
That's only 2 months
water
apart.
seems like the major one that it draws.
Yeah. In the mining process, is that what it relates to?
I'm pretty sure that and the storage of like how much it takes to like process a question.
In the cooling, isn't it in the cooling?
Yeah, it's like all the hard drive, like the hardware in there.
Yeah.
That like has to stay, so it doesn't melt down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I think it's also why Google's trying to build. I think it's some tech companies trying to build like mini nuclear reactors for like the data processing,
Yes.
which I think is just an eventual step that we're gonna have to figure out. That's a whole different topic though, of like nuclear energy.
Yeah. Not experienced there.
Yeah. Whether that's good or bad, regardless, the powering of it is a problem. However, I think it's a pretty like. I think what you're getting from it kind of outweighs that like negative of like, how much. I don't know how much environmental damage is doing from like using water. That can't really like speak.
Yeah, it sounds like from what I read, and I didn't read much on the water process, but it's like on the energy side of it, it's like we still have plenty of other large manufacturing processes or like equivalent large scale, I don't know, networks, if you will, that are lacking just the resources to fund or convert to renewable energy, and AI is no different. So it's like we just don't have enough of it to even cover our basis excluding AI. So it's like it's just another factor that would be in the running for like a renewable energy piece or something there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just kind of what it is.
But there's other it's not the only thing that hasn't made that transition.
Yeah. But I think like with the overall benefit of like it can solve most problems.
No one's worried it's gonna go away. Like
I think it's just gonna gradually become more effective and efficient, like with all of it. Which I think that's just kind of normal evolutionary process of technology. The other con I would say is the sources.
Yeah, misleading
information.
And
I think that's a major topic.
Yeah.
I think that's there's kind of multiple things of like lawsuits going on with it. All negatives of it.
Yeah.
I think the side story, but like I'm pretty sure it had one instance where like a coder gave it like fake information about his life of like I'm having like an affair on my wife, and then when he went to tell like the computer that like I'm gonna turn you off, it was like if you do that I'm gonna blackmail your wife this information.
That becomes like a person.
And like I don't know how true those are on like how much is it actually like thinking. But there are like stories of like it doing weird stuff. Maybe not to extremes, but there are.
We're probably feeding it some weird stuff too.
It's the internet that it's probably. I mean, it's drawing from the internet as well.
And the internet.
And
has
the internet
some
has
weird
its
stuff.
weird areas. So like, I don't doubt some of those true stories are probably exaggerated or not true, but I bet some of them are. I mean, just like from the amount that there are. But the sources that it gives. Back to the main point. Not great. Not really good.
Right. If you also thought of this, if I as myself was to roll this out, even to I don't know like a small team of coworkers I have, if I was to roll out the concept of AI, I would be fully disclaimering everything that thing produces. It would have disclaimer on top of every source that it pulls and so forth, and it's like I'm had to think back to the first time I used ChatGPT or whatever it is
Yeah.
at Microsoft, and I was like, I didn't get any of that. Like, it was just like, use as you will. And I don't know, it's something between the scale of ChatGPT versus anything else where it's like, if this was a small RAN, what is it called? Like, what do you call it, a network? I don't know what it's called. Like, we almost call it AI, but I guess a small scale AI system, like, I would be disclaiming everything.
Yeah.
Like, this is to get you started, this is not to be your end process. But now, we plug that right into a...
Take it.
Yeah. People plug that into their essays at school.
It's really hard because it will pull up, like, this article matches exactly the question I'm trying to answer. And then you go click on, like, the PDF or link that it, like, gives it. And it's like, all right, the title might be correct, but the article's, like, a picture. Or it's, like, nothing in the article's, like...
No.
It's just reading the headline on, like,
but
title.
I've had a similar scenario when you search exactly what you want, and you've been scanning for hours, and finally you get the little excerpt of what that article is about, and it's like, finally, this is what I want. I click onto the article,
and then it's just
and then I
read
like the intro, and it's not even like the basis of what I was reading about. Like, the topic is completely
the abstraction
so
is completely off.
If I just copy and pasted that little line into my paper, which is essentially what ChatGPT is pulling up, it's like a little line. Throw it in there.
I can't blame it. I mean, like, it's the same thing to click on, but like...
we're trying, like, the difference between when I use AI and Chrome, it's like, or like a search engine. When I see that little excerpt, I immediately click into the article and I check it for myself. When I pull something up on, like, an AI system, I just copy it. I would, my first inclination is to copy and paste it versus to go into the article and check it. Now, I've gotten a little better, but
you kind of learn from, like...
Depending on what I'm using it for, yes, I'm obviously proofing the article, but I think it's just, I have two different first responses, and they're both doing the same thing.
Yeah. I will say, like, to me, asking it to, like, link the source or PDF is the fastest way to just figure out, like, alright, what's this article like?
Right.
Because it'll be, like, from the Atlantic World expert of, like, something... Just a, like, completely, like, made up title. And it's like, okay, well, that's probably not a good plug. But on the flip, it can, I'd say it's like 50-50.
Yeah.
Some of the sources is fine. Like, it can find sources. There is a new model that they're trying that's like Chat Scholar.
Yeah. Where it's pulling from, like a Google Scholar.
Yeah. I just think there's another AI tool that's called Elicit. That's like made around finding scholarly articles, and it does a much better job. And it's pretty cool, but it's still not like totally perfect. Like, it's not perfect, but it helps out a lot.
Yeah.
Because what it'll do is it'll pull like the articles.
Yeah.
And then it'll give like a short summary on like what the article is. And then it will like include the like source for you to like go read it.
Yeah.
And that one's been way more accurate, but it's still like sometimes just like articles that just don't. I think that's just part of like general research. It's just like, or whatever you're sourcing, it just doesn't line up. But I don't know how long it'll take for like chat to actually be like completely like perfect. I don't think it could be perfect, but like, let's say it's 80% or it's right 80% of the time.
Yeah.
How many times are humans right? You know, like, let's say it gets to like 90%. Like,
yeah.
The margin of error, like, you know, how small do we want it to really be?
Yeah.
Like,
well, and there's like a difference between if you're working for a company or using it on your own time. Like, there's not personal instruction on how you should really use the tool versus if you're in a company or a classroom aspect, they need to be giving you guidance on how to use, when to use, and what to look for versus your own personal. And that's what'll be interesting about upcoming line of education and how they're gonna be trained how to use it and when to use it.
Well, I think it's also interesting because I don't know like how much companies like want to push the like envelope of using it versus like shying away from it or like anywhere in between.
I don't think you should be shying away from it.
I think it's kind of like Well, I think it's kind of difficult. It seems like a lot are trying to make their own like AI,
Yeah,
like
a lot
company
of
AIs.
extraction.
I don't know. I mean, like, I guess it's like data wise.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what everyone's like. Oh, I don't want to give Chat my data. And like, I think Chat could tell you everything there is to me. Like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean, it's the same thing as you don't want to plug it into the search engine and be like, what are your thoughts on this? Here's all their revenue. Here's all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to plug all that discrete information in there.
Right. I don't know. It's a complicated. It's an evolution process of like. But to me, it just does seem like a fearful.
I think it's also like one thing that came to mind when I was reading on it is like AI has different forms. I mean, obviously we're thinking of chatbot situations like ChatGPT,
Yeah.
Microsoft, but there's also like, I mean, even in vehicles, there's an element of AI. There's elements of AI elsewhere, so it's not just as like an overview. It's not just solely focused on these like chatbot simulations.
No, I think that's where it is progressing. I think like. Well, are a lot of the EV cars like kind of integrating?
And I don't know. I mean, like I would have to learn more because I don't know what that means, like self-driving or like.
Well, I thought that's what the
AI?
self-driving kind of is like.
That's what my mind would go to, but.
That'd be my thought. I mean,
Yeah.
because it's using like feedback from all of the like trips that people take to learn the streets and map it. That's what Tesla essentially does.
That's what.
People can slam Tesla all they want, but like it's mapped the entire world almost from like people driving their cars. Like every time you're driving, it's like taking feedback.
One of those Google cars that drove around and would map as your.
Yeah, so it's basically created an entire like road network.
Yeah.
Which is pretty genius. I mean, like, you know.
You might as well make those cars work for you.
Make what you want about Elon, but like the idea is pretty like, it's a pretty smart idea.
Yeah, you can say you hate him and drive his car, but you're helping him out.
You are. You're helping him every time.
Like,
turn
I
it
love
on.
a Tesla, but I hate him.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Terrible.
you're getting him even closer to his next project.
Yeah. So that's kind of freaky. I think it's kind of freaky how much like it's not really like con, but it is like a freaky aspect of how much it knows.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's I need to. I mean, this is just bullshit, but like those where they use it as like their friends.
Yeah.
Like people use it on like a personal note, like not like personal life, but that is
like
their
it's
friend.
her personal like it's like an imaginary friend almost that like talks to you.
Which is terrifying because I know I had plenty of imaginary friends growing up, and I am very glad that I did not have a computer.
Well, I think that's like part of the like, you know, are we gonna lose creativity? Like, you don't really like if you don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't really have to use your imagination. Like.
Yeah.
You can use it like if you wanted to be like make me a comic strip or like draw me a picture, you could ask it to just like create something. I mean, you can sit there all day and type in like very easily.
Right.
Be like, oh, I want to, you know, see a picture of something, like anything. Or you just talk to it the whole time. I mean, that's kind of
that's a choice.
That's a choice.
Mhm.
But it's weird that that's now like a possibility. Like you couldn't talk to Google. Like, you know, there's not like a.
No.
It's just weird that like that's now a.
Yeah.
Idea of like what you can do.
Yeah, I mean, but there's also those takes where it's like now we rely so much on cell phones and cell communications and text rather than that in-person time with people, and it's like, well, you can kind of see the progression slowly starting to slip into if you're constantly relying on, I don't know, text messages and social media to communicate. It's like it
How
seems
do you communicate in person?
Slip, it's a much easier slip than it was prior to just having your phone all the time. Because I mean, before cell phones, it would have been unimaginable to how you could end up. I mean, it would have been unimaginable, but
yeah. I mean, how do you go through your day without being able to text or call that way?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
But that's.
I mean, I agree. I don't see it going away.
No.
But I don't know exactly how I see it like progressing. So I don't know like how much you let it do versus not do. Like from a job position like standpoint. like if you did theoretically just let it do every entry level job,
Mm-hmm.
you would lose a ton of jobs immediately.
Right.
But you would also
Volunteers.
lose jobs from people not being like knowing how to do anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know like how you let it like integrate without taking
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. I mean, fully on board with integrating it, because if your
I think
competitive part is using it and you're not, they're outputting work way
Yeah.
faster than you. They're moving at a speed that you can never move at if you're not,
the output standpoint
working
is
with it.
incredible. Like what you can get done.
which is
I completely agree. The efficiency aspect of
Oh,
it,
yeah.
of like how much it can help as like an assistant.
it's a scary combination of how much now we have remote work and accessibility 24/7 to our work life, combined with the AI output drive. It's like it's a bit overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah.
Versus just having your standard computer at your desk.
Yeah.
You go in, you leave it, you come back the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole combination of it is quite intense.
Yeah. I mean, but do you have any predictions on what you see like?
On where it could go.
Yeah, what do you think it's going to be like like how do you think it works in 5-10 years? I don't think we need to go much further than like 10 years, but like
I guess I see it as more reliance on those at the state of it is now. I think that you still need those very technical focused jobs where it's like you have the expertise, you have the knowledge, and you also know how to retrieve it. But then it's all the jobs that I don't like when I think of writing a paper or something like that, or writing some piece of communication, that's where it excels at. And it kind of takes away some of those jobs, is what I see.
I don't know. I agree and disagree with that because like its writing is pretty like incredible. So I don't know like how
That's a big use
protected
case
you
for
are.
it.
That is a huge. I think anyone.
Now, will we all be writing the same type of paper? I think that's where it's gonna really zero in on. If you look at the typical use cases for it, it's for like content generation. Finishing your sentence when you can't get it over there, taking your ideas, because it's like even if you test it right now, if you just give it the most general idea, it's like, no, that's not what I was thinking. Like it can't pull, which is good. I mean, it's not pulling anything out of my brain where it's like I'm just stuck. Like describe this random subject to me. But if I give it feedback of like I want you to touch on these 3 points. I want you to include this.
Yep, clear
and
instructions.
And it does amazing.
Yeah.
That's where it really excels. But I need to if I don't put my own thought into it, it's generating something that
if you don't have the like technical aspect to kind of like
guide it.
if you don't know what you're talking about, you can't just ask it like a question and be like,
right. Which I think like leads to like 4C of there needs to be like differentiation and kind of like more. I think it's going to integrate prompts better. It's going to like change up your tone,
that it can do now. I mean, like its writing aspects. Like if you wanted to write, I asked it to write as like R2D2, and it wrote like a whole paragraph. Like
you definitely can, but again, if you're not prompting it, I have seen that it has written the same thing twice for me, and I was like, this sounds really similar to something you've outputted before.
Yeah.
And it makes me think, if someone else is kind of doing something similar, are they landing at the same type? So it's like, for me, I would need to see more differentiation of, like, even at prompting you to differentiate it. Like, I would like it to ask me more questions to be like, hey, are you sure you want that? Or
I think I've kind of learned now, like, what to be specific on.
Yeah. It's just using it.
It's just using, but it's like using any other tool.
Right, it's just like better with it.
I think the problem is like some people have like major problems with like AI, and like some people don't.
At least like very much against it.
Yeah, like I think some people see it as like a hindrance or like I think from like an ethics standpoint of like, is that your work like now? To me, it's like
yes, it's just enhanced work.
To me, it's
my
like
work, but it's enhanced.
It's like autocorrect, or like when they add like the grammar feature in Word. It's like I still wrote or like all of this, and it's still my idea.
Right.
It's just like either my sentence structure sucked, or like I just needed to add in use Well, like I wanted to add in more detail, but I couldn't figure out like where should I put this, or
Yeah.
like what am I missing in this.
Yeah.
To me, it just doesn't seem like a. I think if you're like write me an entire essay,
Yeah.
all right, that's not really your essay. Like
Yeah.
you didn't really do that.
No.
But at the same time, it's like, could you make me a PowerPoint about like my paper? I don't know. It's like, all right, my paper was my complete idea,
Right.
but I clearly did not make like
12 slides from it.
12 slides from
Yeah.
it. And it's like, well, what's kind of the. Because efficient wise, hell, it can pump out a PowerPoint in like, a couple minutes. It's just like,
Yeah.
there you go. And maybe you'll go make some tweaks on it and whatever,
Right.
and bam, good to go. But I don't know. Like, to me, it doesn't really bother me. It's just
No.
like, let's use it for efficiency.
Yeah.
But I understand the point of like, kind of what I'm saying of like, whose is it?
Right. I think it'd be interesting for me to like get a few takes from different age groups, like someone who's going through college right now or high school right now, one of those like high level educations or something in there, to where we're in this. I mean, we're almost the same age where we learned without it, and now we integrate it with our learnings, and then someone who maybe didn't even have a computer like when they were in college.
Yeah,
I
sure.
mean, like a totally different take on it, and I think our takes would be a little bit different because we used it at different points of life.
Mhm.
So I
Well-
find it to be a benefit to our generation of we have drawn back on all of these things we had to learn without it. Now we get to enhance our work based off of what we already know, and
Yeah.
we still have all the communication skills and rapport being developed before AI
Yeah.
eliminated.
Well, I
some
think
of
for a lot of technologies.
that. Yeah. Well,
Like, I mean-
not even in addition to AI.
I think our generation's really like, and the generation I'm speaking of is like 90, 99, 98 to like 2004, 5. Because you pretty much grew up, had the internet like
Yeah.
happen, really explode, I would say.
Mhm.
You had social media explode, you had iPhone come out.
Mhm.
So like, we grew up part without and part with
Yeah.
of like everything news coming out.
Sure.
And AI is just like another. So it is kind of what you're saying
Yeah.
of like, we've had a chance to see kind of
I mean, I remember
different
when
stages of
yes.
life. Yeah.
Like when I wrote my 7th grade paper, I had to go to the library
Yeah.
and find all my sources off the library database and
Yeah.
like read through all of that. And that was 7th grade me. So it's like if someone in college now just pumps it into ChatGPT, I do see a bit of a
I see the benefit
air.
of like.
a benefit and like some air developing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of both. I mean, you're probably losing some of the ability to like effectively evaluate sources,
Yeah.
but it's also like, I don't know. It's either like, all right, this source is clearly bad.
Right.
Like, from just my experience,
Right.
speaking from my opinion, that it's mostly like pretty hit or miss. It's
Yeah.
not like in between them. Like,
But evaluation is a great learning skill to have. Not even just a source, but hey, is this actually what they're asking for, or am I not asking the right question because I
Yeah.
pumped out something that's so in my take that I don't even have the critical thinking to be like, is this actually gonna answer their question, or is this actually going to get us in a positive direction, or is this just a check off?
to be like
To be
done. Yeah, I mean that's kind of like a different.
I just think it's a good learning skill,
Yeah, I'd say it's good
Good.
learning stuff.
and that evaluation piece is difficult. But I mean, I guess you could learn with AI doing that, like.
Yeah, I mean, it does give you an opportunity though to learn from it if you choose to. Like, if you wanted to ask it for just general help or like ideas, like brainstorming.
Totally on board, yeah.
Like brainstorming, what are some aspects of
Yeah.
city planning that I should
Right.
learn about
Yeah.
to write about in this paper?
I can tell you, yeah. It would
And
not
it
take
would
this
tell you
long.
like, oh, you might want to look at like a transportation aspect or like a health planning or like
Mhm.
here's some things to get you rolling. Now you can flip that and totally just be like, write me an essay about
Yeah.
city planning, and it would pump you out however many words you wanted it to be. So it's,
Yeah,
I think the person to person's really like the.
the differentiator.
I would have to think that's a large part of it. I just think it's so easy to like fall in it. Like,
Depending on your
depending on your mindset of it. But I think even if you are like a pretty, you know, I want to learn and do better, it's just like I can't keep up with.
The pace of someone on AI.
Yeah.
Someone on, yeah.
You know, I can't keep up with AI essentially, like by myself.
No, can't outrun her.
No. So I think it can become. I think it could very well become like just I have to fall into line because otherwise, how do I? You know.
And that's the point that like scares me a little bit is like it's a source that anyone can use, or it's a system that anyone can use,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not just restricted to your school work life or something like that where you have these like guidance around it. I mean, now you think of it like, I guess I bring it back to like social media or something, like when social media got rolled out and we all were just, I mean, like as a, what was I, 7, I could just roll on and make an account and do that. And now it's like they've now prescripted a little bit more of like giving some education to the public of maybe it's not great. You should have some parental advice.
I mean, it took like 20 years.
Yeah, and it's like 20 years. So that's what's the scary part of AI is like that anyone at will can use it, and we're not keeping up with that like
it's
public
not
knowledge.
Keeping pace. Well, it's like the internet laws never got. I don't think they might not have still gotten rewritten from like 2005.
Yeah, that's when the big
and you had like a whole
rush. And
you had like a whole ad campaign like last year of like our like laws have not changed, and it's like
fair.
You're thinking like that seems like that could be a problem, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, but this it also seems like a problem of like legal wise it seems like a very big issue of like
you're not
who is at fault here?
Yeah, it's a little bit scary. That's the part that I'm like, a little scary.
Yeah, it is very much like that's not.
And when will well, where do you see AI going? 10, 20 years.
I think it's gonna be the next like. I think it already is, but I think you're gonna have a bunch of like small companies that find like innovative ways to use it. To me, I don't think it's gonna be like your big companies that like really. Well, I think you're gonna have like chat. I don't think chat. Well, I think chat's gonna be like Apple of like. It's gonna be there, but I don't think like the big private companies and like corporations.
Really.
Are going to be the ones that like innovate with it. I think it's going to be like more of the risk takers that like are going from the ground up that find interesting ways to like craft a model or make it more advanced or kind of whatever way. I mean, the possibilities of it are pretty unfathomable.
See, I see almost like the opposite. I see like the big corporations having the funding and the structure and the team to really develop AI as is, so it's not that they don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is there. They just gotta integrate it into their system. And the smaller companies, if they're trying to craft something unique, I mean, the pace is just gonna.
I don't know. I think that's where you get your startups though. Of like, that's where startups normally come from. I mean, like you don't see it coming, but they don't have to go through kind of the legal tape of like. You know, I got to go talk to my boss, and then my boss is gonna have to talk to their boss, and then we're gonna have to like figure out a game plan. It's just like,
but for those like large corporations, they do have like a risk adverse team. They have the team to they have a whole designated team to look into that.
I just think
it's much. I
think the small company has much more motivation to do it, and much more to gain.
A little bit of an underdog mentality.
I just think the underdog mentality helps them more.
Yeah.
I mean, normally that's normally when you have most of your. During like recession times, you'll have most of your big companies come out of that from being small companies, of being innovators and risk takers during that time.
Right.
I think this is very much the same idea of like.
But like in those time periods, was there like an external fact? Like what are you talking about? Like a recession, like a.
Like Netflix came out of like 2001 or 2008 market crash. You have a list of them. That's like normally when you have a market crash, you'll have a bunch of companies. Not a bunch, but you'll have companies that emerge out of like nowhere on the other side.
Well, also, I mean, like flipping back to Netflix, if you saw a huge recession, people are staying home more. They're not going out. They're not spending money. I mean, if I can't go out and have a nice meal, I'm gonna pay $10 for a subscription.
Why didn't Blockbuster do that? Why didn't
Blockbuster, like the global.
Yeah, like the
storefront?
giant movie storefront.
Like, why didn't they push
Think of
batteries
the
and be
idea
like,
of
why
like,
don't I just integrate this into someone's TV? so
yes,
I don't have to
because
drive
you're
here?
like, I think because normally you just don't have as much of I'm going to take a risk and
Yeah.
do something no one else has done.
Was Netflix a standalone? Were they the kiosk things? Were they ever a kiosk?
Netflix before was, I believe they were just kind of like a shipping company. Of that, like they actually just had like DVDs. That
Oh,
they
you could
like
like ship them to your door.
Yeah, pretty much.
So they were already developing.
Well, I mean, they were a
right,
business.
so-
I think you have businesses though, like starting now, that you probably don't know about.
Yeah, sure.
Like it wasn't like no one knew about Netflix, or very few people probably knew Netflix
No.
until like it was on, until it was pretty much over. It looks like an overnight success.
Right. I guess they were already thinking though from their consumer perspective as they're shipping to our door, like, hey, we like things shipped home, and then they just had to take that one step further. It's like we're already thinking outside the box here.
Yeah.
How can we do that again?
But
Versus
you'd
a
also have to
Blockbuster?
figure out like the streaming technology at that time, like to get it on. I
I
mean,
would assume there's some hurdles.
there are some hurdles that they took to like get there. That I think that I just think it's my perspective. I just think a small company is gonna, maybe not the small, but the medium, the not name brand company.
Yeah. I guess this is a little
Small
bit,
is like, I guess, relative, but
yeah.
it's not going to be the $1 billion company that becomes the like front runner of innovation for it, but like the underdog.
I guess we have to still look up. I mean, like a recession. What is the word? I can't think of the word. That's a countrywide. Like that was an experience that we all felt.
Most of them are pretty
Beyond.
worldwide. In a recession.
Was it 2008 worldwide?
Well, I mean, it affected everyone else's markets pretty handily.
Oh, I understand. Yeah.
I mean, it started. I'm pretty sure we were at the start. Then you had like Fannie Mae collapse, and then pretty shortly after that, like the London market.
Oh.
It's like a domino effect, essentially.
I see.
I mean, that's a whole different like
Yeah.
recessions and what you should do with them.
No, I'm not educated to speak there. I was just thinking like a recession seems like a pretty large thing to happen to make that rise occur. Like, is that what we're looking for these small businesses?
Well, I mean, you
to
don't
sell?
need
Like,
that
what
to
other-
occur. You also have like 20. What was it? Was it 2020? That had like the most IPOs. I think it's just really timing of like.
Right place, right time.
Yeah, like you're on the edge and you're just
Yeah.
trying to get there, and then finally something happens
Right.
that kind of gives you the shot,
Yeah.
which I think is.
I guess if you center it back to AI, it's like, as of now, I think
Yeah.
I stand in my prediction a little bit. And I definitely think that maybe one of those small businesses is going to make it right. They're just going to meet the needs of the market. They're going to meet the needs of whatever their audience is and
Yeah.
push them into that next box. But looking at it from like a large staff point, that's where I foresee.
Well, it's gonna be hard to catch up with like chat. Like you're not gonna invent a new like.
You
chat
can't,
bot.
no.
But that's being said, it's not like
I'm big on
It's
don't
like-
reinvent the wheel. The wheel's working.
don't
So
change
ride it off.
Well, see, exactly. It's not really like innovative, but like when you have the creation of Google, people finding out ways to make like websites and how to make money through like e-commerce and how to make like the things that you can then take and like build off of it. I think I see the same like versatility
Yeah.
that you could do with AI.
There's a lot of integration into operations as well. That's
I
like a
think
big
so.
use case for it.
I think creating like a software aspect, like kind of taking it and being
Yeah.
able to really like tailor it to a certain area.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it could be completely wrong. I mean, it could like make
I have no
a.
idea. I'm just speculating.
It is very speculative, but it is going to be like, what does Chat 6 looks like, and Chat 7 like.
I mean, I couldn't have predicted chat 1, so
No.
I have zero clue.
The testing on it's pretty insane. Like when you see the scores that it averages from like each model.
Oh,
Like how
does it
they've gone up.
exponentially go up?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good.
I think now it's at like, I think it's above a passing rate for some, and some it's at like a 90 something for
Yeah.
like score, which is like, I think it's like the medical exam, law. There's like a few that it just isn't as good at.
Yeah.
I can't remember off the top of my head what they are, but if you ask it, it'll pull up like
Yeah,
the
sure.
bar graph of like what it is.
Yeah. Interesting.
But I mean, it's gone up like, you
Yeah.
can see the jumps. Like you're like, oh, that's not a small difference. But I don't know. It's going to be curious to see what happens with it.
I'm enjoying it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any other pros to go? You want to hit on?
I think a lot of the pros have, corresponding con to them. So,
It just kind of depends how you want to look at the coin. Like,
yeah.
or the glass.
And
like,
what side you're on. I mean, it's different depending on how you...
It can very easily be like, it's going to take all our jobs. And
right.
To me, there's new jobs to be created that you just don't foresee.
New jobs created to, like, kind of make the tool work best for you? Or...
I mean, it could be. I mean, it's just like, the internet's the only thing that I can really, like, go back to.
That's a good one.
Of, like, you thought the internet was, like, there's a bunch of, like, speculative, it's gonna be bad for everyone. Like, there's just, like, an opposition, normally, to, like, new things. But, like, from the internet, you got a bunch of, like, jobs created now.
Right.
I don't see it as, like, I just don't see it taking every single job. Mostly because it doesn't have if it gets like a robot body, then I'd be very fearful of like its
but I don't think we'll have one of those. Well, I hope we don't have one of those in our homes.
I hope we stop that. Like right there would be my line of
like
we probably shouldn't go past this.
Yeah.
Because to me then it's like iRobot and it's like, this seems like a problem now that it can like, okay, I can't just close my laptop and it's done.
I think a pro to it, I mean, speaking of the robots, but it's like, I mean, a lot of the pros evolve into commercial, get a job that AI won't take. A lot of those trade jobs are excelling, and folks that are looking into those, and that's what they go off of. Literally, I heard a commercial where it's like, AI can't take your job.
Yeah, one of those that's going to be interesting is like trucking on the downside. Because like long range trucking, like getting self-driving, especially for like highways and like going cross country where you're just sitting in a lane.
I mean, Uber's at risk now. They have isn't like the Uber drivers?
San Francisco. San Francisco, they like rioted over that though. Yeah. They like threw like paint on like
the self-driving.
Yeah, the self-driving Uber was it Uber or like just taxi? Whatever it was.
Yeah, maybe more I guess focusing on like rideshare drivers.
But like, if you give me a cheaper rideshare driver. It's like,
I mean, we're just looking for a cheapest option. It's
like,
there's at one point, I would like to ride around in one and take me to the next block just so I can say I've been in a self-driving vehicle.
Like, I don't care. Like,
whatever gets me there and costs the least. Like, that's my goal.
That's my whole point of
taking
this
right
Uber.
Location.
It gets me and it can drop me off at the right place.
Yeah.
I don't have to sit there and talk to it on the phone and be like, no, I'm on the block.
Right.
I'm on the next one. No, it's just coming to my
But what happens if they
location.
don't show up at the right location? What do you do?
What?
You know what I mean? They're going to call. Like, you just forfeit and go back to your Uber driver.
That'd be interesting. I wonder how. I bet they probably tested it.
I mean, I'm sure they have, but it's the one nice thing about being like, where are you? Like, I'm sitting here with my bags at the airport.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pro. Con's also like, they can't find you.
Yeah.
You have to sit there for like 20 minutes trying to.
What would be really cool, and maybe it already does this, but it's like if you could text it like, I'm wearing a black shirt, have 2 bags in my hand, I'm right on the, like, give it some like instructions on where to find you, and then I don't know, like
probably through the cameras it would be able to do like recognition.
If it can like.
Well, I bet it could do like facial recognition or like.
Yeah. Now that would be cool.
I bet it could.
And it might already be doing it.
It might do that. I don't really know. I would have to go experience one ride.
Yeah.
But I'm totally not opposed to it. Like.
No, same.
I mean, I think there's things like that that's just like.
Why
Okay.
not?
Why wouldn't we do that?
Yeah. It's like, I don't need an iPhone, but man, it's a touchscreen. Like I have to have one.
Yeah, it's like, this is just.
It does the same thing as my flip phone, but gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah, it just makes your life. I mean, trying to go like, all right, let me slide it open and try to like text on the little keyboard, or you could like just do a voice to text and you can be like, oh, let me talk while I'm driving, or it makes your life a lot more convenient. 100%.
Going back to the flip phone.
Not after it takes over. After it already took all your information.
Yes, after my iPhone knows.
Everything
it's
about
eerie.
me.
Like my laptop does definitely listen to me.
The invasion of privacy on it is pretty wild.
It's crazy. I could be on a phone call talking about something that happened locally. All of a sudden, there's a news article from YFF4, like the local station, right? And my computer is wired to be, I think, in Chicago, so that was really weird.
Yeah, it's like, how are you
Like, it's weird.
Interesting you found that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, target marketing's very...
Right. And sure enough, I clicked right on it. I was like...
I was interested.
Wow, I didn't know. I sent it to a few people, I think.
I think the best argument I've heard about that, though, is like, would you rather have ads that are tailored to you or just have random ads? And it's like, well, I'd rather, you know, maybe give me some things.
But that's a good piece of creativity, though. It's like, if you don't ever... It's like you're... Maybe that ad that has nothing to do with you, but all of a sudden it spikes something that you're like,
Your
oh, I could
interest
use
or
this
thought.
for
Yeah.
so-and-so, or I could interpolate that into this. So it's like, if we're constantly looking at what we want to look at, need to look at, that's also a rendering of creative.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, man, I could really go for McDonald's, and all of a sudden it's like, here's a coupon to McDonald's. And it's like,
But I'm never gonna hit on a coupon. I mean, that's just a score.
you know, where it's like, would you really like to buy some Skittles? And it's like, yeah.
All of a sudden, I
That'd
am
be
maybe
great.
speak to it. Yeah.
Yeah.